Art friends, welcome back to art class with Mr. Poulos. Today we are going to be talking about sculptures. So what is a sculpture? Well, a sculpture is a 3D piece of artwork. It's something that pops up into your space. A sculpture can be looked at from all sides, and it could be felt. If you were to close your eyes and touch a sculpture, you can feel that something's there, and you might even be able to figure out what it is. Now, most of the artwork that you're probably used to seeing, paintings and drawings, or even cartoons and things on your television, most of that is two-dimensional or 2D. And that means that they are flat. So I've taken one of these off of my wall here. And this project is made out of construction paper, and it's all glued down to another piece of construction paper, but it's glued down flat. So if I were to close my eyes or look away and feel it, I can't tell what this is. If I look at it from the side, I can't tell what this is. If I look at it from behind, I can't tell what this is. This is 2D, okay? And you're going to be making something that's three-dimensional. So let's get started. Now for this project, you can use a lot of different materials. Now I'm using a piece of black construction paper and a bunch of strips of construction paper of different colors. You could use a piece of cardboard for your base. You could use newspaper or maybe cereal box, strips of cereal boxes from your recycle bin. You could even color your own paper and then cut it into strips. Now I cut 1-inch strips for what I'm using, but you know, anything that sort of looks like this long rectangle I think will work just fine for the project that we're doing. Now we want to make these stick down to the paper, and we don't want them to be flat. So this really wouldn't work for a 3D sculpture. For all of my strips of paper, I'm going to need to create little feet. So what I do is I take the end of my paper and I give it a fold, and I take the other end of the paper and I give it a fold. Okay? And now no matter what I do with this, it has 2 little feet. And that's going to be what helps my paper stand up and come into 3D space. So now I could touch this, I could see all the way around my sculpture, and it pops up into space. So just like with you, if you were to stand up tall, you need a good foundation, and your feet need to be planted down on the ground. So the feet of every one of my line sculptures needs to be planted onto this base, and there are many ways that you could do this. You could take a piece of tape and slap it down there to keep this foot from moving. Tape works just fine. You could use a glue stick and put a little bit of glue directly on that little foot and press it down. That will work just fine. Okay, you want to give this a few seconds before you're too rough with it. You could use a stapler even. Whatever you have at home to make this work is going to be great, as long as your project is standing up when you look at it, okay? Now, to create this sort of rainbow shape, let me see if I can show you from a different angle. To create this rainbow shape, I didn't really do anything. I just picked 2 spots on the base for where to connect the feet of my strip. To create some other really cool shapes like a zigzag, the fold that I made for the foot, well, I'm going to keep doing that. I fold one way, pinch it down, fold it back down, pinch it down, fold back, fold it back, fold it back, fold it back, fold it back, and it sort of creates this accordion sort of shape. And this is great. I could have this sticking straight up. I could attach 2 pieces to my paper. I could even attach papers to each other. And let me show you what that looks like. Why don't I go for that right now? Put a little bit of glue on the foot and stick my foot down. And I'll put a little bit of glue on this foot, and I'll have this one step onto my rainbow shape. And here we have a sculpture with a cool zigzag line and a rounded line. Now, a spiral line could be cool as well. You could wrap this paper around your finger or around a marker. I'm going to use a glue stick. But if I wrap this nice and tight and roll it in there, when I let it go, I get a pretty cool spiral. And I can attach this to the base. I can attach this to another project. I could even make that weave a little bit tighter by wrapping it one more time around my finger, or just sort of spinning it. That'll give me a cool little shape. Now, I want you to fill up this space, whether you're using a paper or a piece of cardboard. Use as many colors as you can. Some cool ways to think about this are, think about it like a jungle gym or an amusement park, and picture yourself as a tiny little person, and what would be some really fun things to try and ride on or climb on. I think that's a really great way to look at it. The other thing you can do is take markers and actually decorate some of these. But at the end of the day, I want you to have a really interesting looking, with as many different lines and as many different colors and as many different patterns as you can. I want you to create a really interesting looking sculpture. And when I see you next week, we will look at these together and share what we've made. And just remember that it should look cool from pretty much every angle. So enjoy, guys, and have fun with it.